Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and let me tell you what, this whole ETHGate thing, hashtag ETHGate, is beginning to, we are beginning to get the real traction now, folks. You can see this thing starting to cross over even into some of these Bitcoin, Ethereum maxis who have intentionally been ignoring this. You're starting to see this crossover, and then you're also starting to see a lot of publications that weren't touching it start to touch it. And I think it's because they know that this is getting so big that to ignore it loses way too much credibility for them. Well, here's one. Naomi Brockwell. If you look up Naomi Brockwell, she's all in some Bitcoin, Ethereum over the past few years. She's an influencer. Now, I'm not saying she's not fair, but all of a sudden, she's one of the ones who has not been covering this to my knowledge. And now she's having John Deaton on at 4 o'clock. The SEC is attacking many crypto projects, much of it behind closed doors. The epic battle with XRP Ripple will be precedent setting, but the XRP Ripple community is fighting back. Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time, which is today. She's going to be chatting with John Deaton. She says the lawyer leading the lawsuit against the SEC, that would be John Deaton. And then there was this from DJ Peter Voss. We made it big, and he's talking about this article that was on Investor Place, ETHGate 2022. The Ethereum scandal XRP investors are calling bigger than Enron. And they've actually got, if you look, this is the graphic that TAIG had come up with the other day, and that's where I'm assuming they're getting the bigger than Enron. We've also compared ETHGate to bigger than Madoff. Well, here's the thing, folks. I'm not saying that any of the people in this picture have done anything wrong. What I'm saying is that there is enough video and evidence that we have shown that are facts, people's own words, stringing together the timeline of their own words. There's enough things that have been brought to light in the timeline and in those videos that all of these people and what, like he's got on here, Ethereum Foundation Consensus, there should be an investigation. That's all we're saying. And look, I hope none of these people did anything wrong. But it does need to be investigated, because at a minimum, I think we've seen there are some horrible conflicts of interest that have gone on, and it demands to be investigated. Okay? Period. Only anybody that is really looking through this. In fact, if you look through this article, they know the reason they're writing these articles. They know that what we have is video and timeline. All we're pointing to is their own words, their own, let me insert the word, their own arrogant words, because their arrogance is what sunk most of these people, folks. Arrogance, because they thought they pulled one off and they started running their mouths. And it wasn't just the average Joes, it was the lawyers, all of the people that helped to engineer this thing started running their mouths because they thought, well, nobody noticed. And, well, we did notice. And all they had to do was take their Ethereum free pass and go off into the sunset, but they couldn't do that. They had to run their mouths and they had to gloat. They had to brag about how, it's going to be kind of tough for any other token to get, because, we're decentralized, and it's going to be hard for any other because they're going to have to prove that they're decentralized. Man, it was a plan. It was a plan. It was a plan. Okay, I like this tweet, so I had to show it. Ripple versus SEC, end is near. I think that he's probably right, and I hope he's right. Okay. Now, this is an aside here, okay? But you're listening to someone who has been through. I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through the World Trade Center when that went down. I've went through the .com boom and bust. I was one of the victims of layoffs. I was on the runway to get my stock options back during the dot-com boom, and it was when the dot-com thing collapsed, and I was one of the people that everybody got laid off because the money dried up. And then the layoffs, and you never get your stock options, and a lot of that's the reason that I saw this coming, okay? Now, but I also went through the financial crisis. I've been through all of these things, and let me tell you, folks, I want you to listen close, because I don't care how good investments such as crypto and gold and real estate and all the different things, I don't care how good the investment is. I don't care how good crypto is now. That includes XRP, XLM, my favorites. I don't care how good the investment you're in is, okay? And I'll say it, when the shit hits the fan and we have a crisis, you need to be sitting on a lot of liquidity, and you don't need to be in a lot of debt. And I want to show you what's happened. This person did a great thread here. All of this happened in Greater China this week, a thread. Evergrande suspends trading. Local media say developer was ordered to demolish 39 illegal buildings. Data for China's developers shows contracted sales, and then it goes on. Then the outbreaks going on, and then Tencent sells $3 billion stake in this, and then it's got some other things about slumps in the economy, and then it goes on. China's central bank withdraws liquidity from the banking system. And then it goes on, the yuan, which is always resilient, starts to weaken as the Fed turns more hawkish. China, her own shares trade for the first time since March, sinking 50%. Folks, wait, let me go to the last one here, right here. This is actually bigger than we realize. The repercussions will be gigantic across the globe, as lots of global investors have been lured in by JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. Moves to full ownership. All right. Then there was this tweet that caught first I saw this one. Zero hedge, December payrolls, 199,000, 210K, huge miss. And then last night I saw this from Barry Silbert. Now you need to I want to make sure you understand who Barry Silbert is. This guy's at the top of the stack in crypto, okay? This guy knows. This guy's connected. He's Digital Currency Group, which owns a piece of Ripple, Coinbase, you name it. I don't know if he owns any more Coinbase now that it went public, but he owns something like, he's got his hands in like 190 crypto companies. These guys are the top of the stack in crypto. And he sees something coming. He says, I'm bearish on stocks, fixed income, real estate. I'm bullish on Bitcoin, privacy tokens, and small number of other cryptos. Stay out of debt, stay liquid. He's right. Stay out of debt and stay liquid. You stay liquid for two reasons. One, when the shit hits the fan, which I believe that it is going to hit the fan, this money printing machine that's been going on for almost 15 years straight now is pathetic. I believe that they have been intentionally setting up the system for a collapse to roll it into the new digital currency system. Now, I truly believe that when they roll it, that's when you're going to finally see XRP and XLM and some of the others really do their thing. I believe Bitcoin and Ethereum have always been a distraction. And I believe that Barry Silbert and his Wall Street friends have always been a part of that, of wanting that to be a distraction so they could all make money on that on the run up. But I don't think Barry Silbert's stupid. I think Barry Silbert has always known that XRP is the one, and that there's a handful of them that are not Bitcoin and Ethereum that are ultimately going to be the major players in this space. Yes, I do continue to buy crypto into the dip. XRP, XLM, a lot of those infrastructure plays I told you. But I also will be beefing up my cash, because when it hits the fan, folks, you need to be sitting there with cash for two reasons. A, it provides you security. B, the people that make the real money, the real money, they're the ones that are sitting there with cash. The smartest people in finance are the ones that are sitting there with cash when everything hits the fan. The Warren Buffetts got rich by doing this kind of stuff. They are flush with cash. If you remember back during the financial crisis, Warren Buffett was sitting there flush with cash when it all hit the fan, and he was buying deals. That's how the big money people do it. That's how the digital asset investor will be doing it this time. So I just wanted to go over that with you. Now, and then I wanted to, as long as I saw Barry Silbert's tweet, I wanted to remind him and you all that I know the deal with Barry Silbert. I said, hey, Barry, how about you update? How about an update on this? Okay. And I tweeted this back to him back April 2020. Hey, Barry, can you explain why XRP was not on your conviction list yet in 2019, but it was in 2016? This is a tweet from Barry Silbert in October 27th, 2016. I'm with you. We, Digital Currency Group, only own Bitcoin, Ripple's XRP, and Ethereum Classic, and now Zcash. Then, in a thread on July 16th, 2019, he says, Ripple, the company. Now, this is the same crap that we heard from Mike Novogratz. This right here is how I know the game that these guys play. Ripple, the company, is our largest investment. XRP is not on our conviction list yet of holdings, or conviction list of holdings yet. Super bullish on the company, neutral on the token as of now. Well, does that mean that Barry Silbert sold what he had in 2016? I don't think so, folks. I think there was another game in play here. I've always thought that there was a game in play, and he's never been willing to answer that question, which tells me even more. And yes, Robert Dobbs, XRP is the heart of the future. And yes, Hassan Al-Nazi, I expect Bitcoin to drop to 28,000. I agree that this, I believe, folks, I really do believe. I believe that Bitcoin and Ethereum have been a combination of a distraction and a way for a lot of these Wall Street guys to make a bunch of money in the handful of years on the run up to the actual rollout of the new financial system. I believe they all knew that Bitcoin and Ethereum were never going to be the thing. I believe they all knew it. And I've believed that for years, folks. I truly do. It's never made any sense to me. The only light that it makes sense in is that they knew, hey, we can play this for about a year to 5 years, ride this up, make a ton of money, and then we'll all be parking our money in years 4 and 5 or 3 through 5, parking our money in what we know is going to be the real financial system with these digital assets going forward, and then we'll do it again. That's what I think's going on. I can't prove it, but that's what I believe's going on. That's what all the evidence points to me. But Hassan says, I expect Bitcoin to drop to 28,000, while Ethereum will be in critical condition. The cap market in general will maintain 2.5 trillion due to a significant increase in the price of XRP, replacing Bitcoin and consequently leading the market. Folks, there's one thing that I am convinced of. I believe that XRP was always going to ascend the throne. I believe XRP was always going to be in that number one spot. It's one of the only digital assets that has been able for 8+ years to consistently stay up in that top 10 coins. And I believe, look, folks, maybe all the world's a stage. Maybe the SEC lawsuit was necessary. I don't know. Maybe. There's a lot of maybes, folks. But I wanted to show you this too. ProCoinNews.com, who is the official sponsor of the Digital Asset Investor Hunting and Fishing Club. And by the way, pretty soon I'm having some buddies that are going to my hunting and fishing club with me, and they're going to have a weekend with me, and it will be sponsored by ProCoinNews.com. And I will show you some of the meats that we're grilling out. And we will have video and footage when we do this. We will have video and footage where we show you the ProCoinNews.com logo and we show you what was going on. That's part of what I wanted to do with this sponsorship. It started as a joke, but I love what ProCoinNews.com is doing so much now. It's turned out to be a really cool thing. So look at this. These guys are taking it to them, folks. We are voting out anyone who is slowing down American innovation in crypto. Retweet and tag your senators and representatives. They've created this awesome graphic, and it's a graphic of Gary Gensler in the center and all of the people who are either anti-crypto or pro Gary Gensler all the way around them. Probably the two that I would point out the most would be Elizabeth Warren and Brad Sherman. They're the most anti-crypto that I know of, and Elizabeth Warren is Gary Gensler's buddy. But I want to show you something in this ProCoinNews.com article. Because they break something interesting down. According to Pew Research, 16% of Americans own or have owned cryptocurrencies. With an estimated total population of 329.5 million in 2020, 16% would equate to 52.7 million voters. Folks, we represent 52.7 million voters. And we're going to vote them all out. Everybody who's anti-crypto, ProCoinNews.com is building the list. They even have a graphic that shows all of these creepy anti-crypto politicians, and we're going to vote them all out. That is where this is going. So if any of these Congress people want to be taken off of this dirty web of anti-crypto, what they need to do is change their tune and change it quick, because the elections will be here before you know it. Now, I saw this from Stefan Huber, and I wanted to show it to you. This is big. I have read hundreds of SEC documents, and never once has there been any mention of selling to accredited investors. Gary said, come in and talk to us, but this is the first time they stated in public statement that there is a way to sell tokens legally to investors. Folks, I've always believed that this was one of the more likely scenarios to come out of the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. I believe there's I was telling somebody this yesterday on the phone. I believe that there is a very good chance that this lawsuit ends, and what they say is, hey, from now on, if you want to, only accredited investors can hold XRP. The rest of you, we're going to give you a window of time to sell it at X price. I've always believed that that was what's going on. And I'll tell you something else. Well, let me go back. Here's another thing. You know, a while back there was this thing going around on Twitter from Jimmy Valley and everybody was like, "That's crazy. You're wanting them to buy you out for $37,000 per XRP and da 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 da." And I didn't really cover that a lot, but it wasn't because I didn't have a gut feeling about what Jimmy Valley was really doing, because this guy's a sophisticated guy. He's not a dumb guy. What I think Jimmy Valley was really doing, I think that he had to use what looks like a crazy price to get on the record, so to speak. I believe that what he was really doing was in a scenario where they do try to make anyone turn in XRP. I believe that by going on the record and by officially sending letters to whoever he sent them to, the Treasury or whatever, I believe he was putting himself on record so that the government would then be in a position where they couldn't give somebody, like, let's say, give somebody, say, okay, you've got to turn your XRP in and give them $50, knowing that the price is going to go up to $500 really quick thereafter. I believe that's what Jimmy Valley was doing. And I believe that his premise was, well, if we're gonna go on the record and set that price, let's do it real high, even if it's a ridiculous high, so that they can't screw over the people. That's what I believe he was doing. Call me crazy, but that's what I think he was really getting at. Now, Charles Hoskinson has shaved his head, and he also tweeted this out yesterday. Not the Ripple I was looking for. There's apparently another Ripple company. Now, I wanted to show you this. Exclusive. Customers of Hong Kong's CoinSuper crypto exchange say they can't withdraw money or tokens. Now, there's one thing we've been seeing over and over and over on crypto Twitter in the last few months, is that there's people, the powers that be, these global powers that be, keep floating this idea of how worried they are about some massive cyber attack. Well, those people I've heard that enough times. You don't have to tell me twice. I've heard that enough times that it's making me nervous. And when I get nervous, there's no telling what these people are capable of. Okay, so when I see articles like this, I want to remind you all again, and this is in the top of the description of this video. Have at least one Ledger Nano S, and I'm not telling you you have to have all your crypto on a Ledger Nano S, but I am telling you need to have some of it for your peace of mind. Don't leave everything on exchanges. It's the safest way to do it is to have a hard wallet. Is to have at least some of your crypto on a Ledger Nano S so that you hold your own private keys, folks. It's the smart thing to do. I'm doing it. Okay. So, and they're in the description of this video. They sell a family pack of Ledger Nano S's for $139 now. It's really a good deal. So check it out. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family to get a Ledger Nano S.